Hello! My name is Jade, and today I wanted to tell you guys the story of my experience, I guess, with the BTS Love Yourself tour in Chicago. Anyone that tried to get US tour tickets probably knows that getting tickets just in itself was a mess. So I kind of wanted to start off with that because it kicks off with this whole mess that went down, I guess. So me and my friends heard the announcement that BTS was going on tour, and we decided we were gonna go. So come May, when the tickets went on sale, me and the two of them decided we were gonna skip school to try to get the tickets because I think they went on sale at like noon or something. We just decided that we were gonna skip school and get the tickets so that, you know, we could get the $250 GA tickets instead of like the $1,000 GA tickets. So that didn't happen. We sat, you know, all day waiting for the tickets. We were refreshing the website constantly. We all had multiple devices like ready to get tickets for either day because we were going to Chicago, so there was the Tuesday and the Wednesday show. We didn't get them. The website kept saying that it was like crashing and that there was no tickets left essentially. So we were really disappointed, but we decided we still were gonna figure it out. My friends both ended up getting tickets to the Wednesday show, I think that day or like the next day for $600 or something like that each. And I didn't think I was gonna be able to go because I'm currently in college, and if anyone watching this is also in college, you know that we're broke, so didn't really have the means to buy $600 ticket. And the prices were just rising as the days went by. So by the time that I found out that I would be able to afford a ticket, I ended up getting mine for $800. A few months later, when the concert was actually like going to happen, I had to plan how I was gonna get back to the cities because I'm from Minnesota, so I go to college like a few hours away from the Twin Cities where, you know, me and all my friends actually live. So we weren't planning to leave until really early in the morning on Tuesday to get there for the Wednesday show. I'm asleep in bed, it's Monday morning, and I get a call from Megan, and she's like, you need to come to my house right now, we're leaving as soon as you get here and going to Chicago. And I'm like, okay. So basically, if you're like not really active on Twitter or weren't really following the tour, there were people camping out. We expected that, we just didn't expect to be as many as it was. So it ended up being that at Monday morning at around 8 a.m, there were already over 130 people lined up and waiting. My friend Megan reached out to someone that was there on Twitter to get us a spot on the list of people who got wristbands. You know, we had about a 7-hour drive. I get, you know, out of bed, I'm getting ready, me and my grandma go pick up the last minute stuff, and she drops me off at Megan's house. Sarah's already there, and Megan's mom is getting ready, since she was the one who was going to drive us. We ended up leaving her house around 11 a.m, and there was so much like anxious energy because, you know, up until then it really didn't feel real. Like leaving at such short notice really made us be like, oh my god, this is real, like this is actually happening. So as we were leaving, it just started pouring. And when I say pouring, I mean like torrential rain the entire drive. By the time we got to Chicago, it was like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Megan just ran out of the car and was following this group of people that were getting their wristbands, and we got our unofficial wristbands. I was number 134 and my friends were 133 and 132. We get our little unofficial wristbands, and me and Sarah run to go set up our tent. So we had a reservation with an Airbnb from Tuesday through Friday, and because we were there on a Monday, Megan's mom had to get a hotel room. She also got us a hotel room for Monday and Tuesday. So we got to set our stuff down, have kind of a home base, have a place to shower and go to the bathroom and stuff like that. So we borrowed this tent from one of their friends from school, and it was like kind of like a triangle tent, and none of us had ever set up that kind of a tent before. Like I was the only one who had ever set up a tent, and I'd only ever set up dome tents, so I had no idea what I was doing. We ended up having to ask like 4 different people for help, and in the end this one really nice lady helped us and we got it all set up, and it was really nice. Shortly after we had our tent set up, we decided we wanted to walk to the hotel to be able to kind of like get our stuff organized. So we're walking to the hotel and it starts kind of like getting stormy again, and we're looking at our phones and realizing it's gonna rain tonight. We're thinking, you know what, it's fine. We have a tent and we are planning to take turns sleeping in the hotel room. Just like a side note, we were so stupid. It was Monday night. There was a show, you know, the next day for Tuesday, and those people had checks at 4 a.m. or so, and we just really thought we had to be there for some reason. So we're trying to come up with this like elaborate plan as to like, oh well, Sarah's gonna walk and get, you know, Megan at like a certain time and like bring her back, and then I'll go take a nap there. And it was just such a mess trying to figure out who's gonna sleep there first and like how the shifts are gonna work out and how much time there is gonna be between each shift. It's around probably 11 o'clock at this point. You know, it's starting to get dark and really cold outside, and we walk all the way back to our tent. Megan was planning to take the first shift, so she was getting ready to have us like walk her back to the hotel. As we're doing this, we kind of realize none of us have to sleep in the tent. You know, we can all go sleep in the hotel room. We didn't need to be there. And we found these two people that were camping out for the show the next day, and they didn't have any place to stay and they were just planning to sleep on the ground. So we offered them our tent, you know. We had some blankets and pillows and stuff in there that we weren't gonna bring to the hotel. So we were really happy that we were able to provide someone with the tent after all the labor of putting it up. So we get to the hotel room and we're just kind of like getting ready for bed. You know, we all got a nice night of sleep, which I'm really glad we did because the next night was a mess. So it's around like 8:30 when we're all awake and we get ready to go back to the United Center. It was only like a 5-minute walk, so it really wasn't a big deal. So it's like 9 a.m. and we decide to head back to our tent, and at this point the kind of like tent village that was set up, if I can find any footage of it, I will definitely put it here, because I guess some dude recorded us and was like, oh my god, the Chicago homeless population is like outrageous right now, and I just kind of thought that was funny because we're just camping out for a concert. And there were so many people that were like interviewing people and like hiding cameras on themselves and trying to talk to us. It was really uncomfortable. So we get back to our tent. There's just like really awesome excitement in the air because there's these people lining up for the day 1 show, and everyone that was there for the day 2 show was really, really nice, and we were all getting along really well. Me, Megan, and Sarah decided we were gonna move our tent because since all the day 1 people were getting their wristbands or had already gotten their wristbands, their tents were pretty much taken down, and we wanted to be closer to the front. We decided we want to be closer so that when we had to get in line the next morning, it was just a lot easier. Little did we know that we weren't really going to be using our tent that night. But we met these 2 girls named Marlo and Summer when we moved our tent, and as a group we decided we were going to move our tent again. And the first time we did this, it's me and my friend Sarah, who's really short and I'm pretty tall, and we're carrying this like triangle style tent while our other friend is trying to direct us through this like line of people on the sidewalk. I'm barefoot and we're like carrying bags, and it was just a mess. So the next time there's 2 of us, 2 groups of us carrying tents down the sidewalk. It was honestly hysterical, and I wish I had a video of it because I can't imagine what we looked like. After we moved our tents, we all decided just to kind of rest for a little bit, and Megan went with her mom to go see the Airbnb, which was like 40 minutes away, kind of by the Navy Pier. Me and Sarah were just kind of hanging out, and Summer and Marlo decided to go to the merch. I mean, I would say merch table, but it was like a merch festival more so. So they went and they were kind of like telling us what it was like and showing us the kind of stuff they got. And we decided as soon as Megan got back, we were gonna go there. Megan brought us food, and Sarah ran and got some homework, and we were just kind of hanging out for a little bit. And then we decided we were going to go get our merch. I'm gonna show you guys what I got because, I don't know, I really like them. So, when you go into the merch place, I'll definitely insert some footage because it was kind of wild.
There's the merch booth right above. We need to get like a full shot of this thing because it's wild. So it's this long. And then there's like a studio and like art exhibits over in that area. I haven't been over there, I probably won't go over there. And then we're on the other side.
So you have to like go get in like a line, and then they only let in a certain amount of people at a time, kind of. Like they just kind of monitor who's going in and out. So we get in there and there's like all these different booths and tables. You have to get into this like, kind of like you're getting on a ride, like one of those lines, and then you get this piece of paper and they have pens up at the front, and you decide what you want and you write down your name and then mark off whatever you want, and then you give it to the person and they fill your order, and then you're good to go. So I ended up only getting 2 things. So I got the Love Yourself photo book, the tour photo book. I love it. It's really, really cute. I love all of their little interviews and stuff, and I like to keep it with my albums, even though it's not technically an album, but I don't know. And then I also got a t-shirt. So I didn't get the like tour t-shirts. I got one of these ones. So it's just black on the front, and it has like this little band that says all their stage names. And then on the back, it just says BTS and then all their stage names again. I really like it because, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of low-key. I almost got the purple version, but my friend Megan got that one, so I decided I would want to get something different. So my friends both got army bombs. I was going to get one, but I decided against it because I wanted to take a lot of pictures and videos, and I kind of regret it just because like the sea of army bombs was so beautiful. It was so beautiful to see that many people coming together. Megan got one of the eco bags, and then she bought her friend a hat, and then she also got the shirt. My friend Sarah got the army bomb, and she got kind of like the, I think it was like a bracelet or an anklet, and she used it as a choker, and it was really cute. We got all our merch and we were kind of settling into our tent, and we had heard some rumors earlier in the day about a mom that was like here with her kid and was being kind of aggressive and saying that our line like didn't count and she was gonna start her own line. Which really in theory doesn't make sense if you think about it. She was saying that our line didn't count because we were camping, but she was gonna camp to be the first person in line, which like doesn't make sense, like whatever, I guess. So later in the day, things started escalating and people were talking about it a lot on Twitter. I will insert some screenshots there. Not only did we give up a lot to be there, but there were people that had camped out for a week, and it wasn't fair to them to have their spots taken away by someone that deemed it as unfair because they decided not to come early enough. I get that not everyone can come early enough, but just kind of accept your place in line, you know? So after we kind of heard about all this stuff happening, we were getting kind of like nervous, and just through the day we were trying to keep updated with everything that was going on. And around 9 p.m, Marlo and Summer asked us if we wanted to go to CVS with them. So we were like, yeah, sure. It was only a little bit of a walk, and I had just bought new shoes like right before I went to Chicago, so I had major blisters. They're like platform Vans, so they kind of dig into your feet when you're first breaking them in, and they were a little bit small because they didn't have like half sizes. So we go to CVS, I'm barefoot while holding my shoes so that I won't get kicked out of CVS. We get some energy drinks and some other just kind of snacky things because we know it's gonna be a long morning. We were expecting to just kind of go to bed as soon as we got back, and we wanted to just be ready for a long day the next day. So we get back and we kind of hear from other people that the things with the mom are escalating and she had actually called the police. We decided we were gonna move our tent again. We decided we wanted to be a lot closer. Some of the girls that were organizing the unofficial line where we got, you know, these wristbands, were saying that we might have to line up early and to just go tell as many people as possible. So me and my friends are kind of like running up and down these like line of tents with a bunch of other people just trying to be like, hey, just stay on guard, like follow Pearl on Twitter. Pearl was the person that like kind of organized the unofficial line. Follow Pearl on Twitter, make sure you know what's going on. We might have a call time earlier than 4 a.m. Everyone's kind of like really anxious about what's going on, and I decided I was not gonna sleep that night. So I decided to go up to the front. Oh, there's a concert going on right now. You know, it's only 9 p.m. The boys are still in there. So there's still like the barriers there from that day, and you could kind of hear a little bit from outside. And I went to sit with this group of people that were trying to block out like the negativity from this mom, her mom, and her kid. which is just wild. They were the only three at this point that were kind of feeding into this negative energy about the unofficial line. This group of people wasn't just people that were in like the first, 10 digits and anything like that. There were people in the 600s, the 300s, and then there was people like us in like the 130s, and there was people that were like 1 through 10. So we're all just sitting there listening to music, having a really awesome time, and I met some really awesome people. Brandy, Maddie, Peyton, and Jacob. I met some other really nice people too, but those four were like the kind of ones that I was hanging out with the most. When things started getting a little scarier and the mom was talking bad to people, and people were still showing up for Wednesday and trying to get their unofficial wristbands, and this mom was like, don't get in line, their line doesn't count, like don't get in their line, like get behind us, we're starting our own line, you can be number 2 if you want. And like we were all just kind of like, stop. And like so many of the people that were showing up were like, what are you talking about? Like I showed up at 10 p.m. on Tuesday, I'm not gonna be number 2, that's not fair. And so many people were recognizing this, and the police were like, if we get called one more time, we're shutting this entire thing down. They were trying to work with the United Center security, and like the United Center security were so awesome. Like they were driving around and like playing music, and they were giving out their names and phone numbers just to make sure everyone was safe and having a good time. But after this, they were kind of agreeing with the police, like, we don't want to like have to sit here and organize a line all night. So we had to kind of figure it out ourselves. Megan and Sarah decided they weren't really able to sleep and kind of came to hang out with like me and this other group of people. Shortly after my friends joined me and Megan decided to go to the bathroom, and when we went inside, we could hear BTS performing So What, and we got so excited. It was so surreal to hear something that we were gonna see in person the next day, and it just got like our spirits kind of back up, because throughout the day with all the stress and it was kind of cold out, we had kind of like all gotten on each other's nerves, We had all kind of had our moments, and it was just nice to be reminded why we were there. This is when things got crazy. Shortly after we got out from the bathroom, we were just kind of sitting and hanging out, and a fight broke out. This mom and her kid, and her mom, like this grandma, this mom and this kid start just yelling at everyone. Like the 16-year-old that was with this mom started like hitting people and pulling their hair and spitting on them and just saying really, really like nasty things to people. And then this mom just fucking pushes a 16-year-old into the ground. Like this girl like stood up and like went to talk to her, and the mom just like shoved her into the ground. That's assault of a minor. Like she's an adult. So we were all like, what the fuck is going on? They were being like really verbally abusive to everyone. Like me and my friends got screamed at for being like, can you guys just go to the back of the line? Like at this point, they still would have gotten really great spots. So the police come again. They decide not to shut down our line because we kind of explained what was happening, and they decided they needed to take the mom in for like questioning, except for they kind of just like pulled her off to the side and questioned her there. And one of the girls was like, okay, we need to get in line. It's like midnight, so we weren't supposed to be in line for another 4 hours, and we're sitting on the sidewalk. It's freezing. It's like 40 degrees outside, which I know isn't that cold, but when you're sitting on cement with a throw blanket and like sweats on, it's pretty cold. Like I'm from Minnesota, and I shivered so hard that I threw up that night. So everyone starts trying to just kind of go to sleep on the ground. Occasionally we'd just hear link up, and everyone would have to like wake up and like link arms. And they kind of had this thing where like one person around you should be awake at all times just in case. I kind of volunteered to do this. Me and my friends were gonna take shift sleeping, but I was like, you know what, I can't sleep. Like I was really shaken up over the fight. Violence really affects me, and I'd also had a Red Bull, so I just was super awake. My friend Megan goes to bed, and Sarah stays up with me for a little bit. We're just kind of talking and listening to music, and then soon enough, Sarah goes to bed as well. Shortly after everyone kind of settles into their spots on the sidewalk and people are done running back and forth from their tents, more police show up. And we're all kind of confused at this point because we're not doing anything wrong. We're all just sitting there. This mom, and her kid are just sitting off to the side staring at everyone and being kind of nasty, but no one was touching one another and no one was yelling anymore. They're walking from the front of the line towards like all the way through, and they have a phone and they're showing it to people. And we were kind of confused, but also really concerned because like what the fuck is going on? So when the police gets to us, my friends are awake now because, you know, they kind of were loud when they like pulled up just so everyone knew that something was going on. And they got to us and they showed this phone and there's a picture of a girl on it, and they're like, this girl, she's 14 years old, she is bipolar and schizophrenic, and she went missing during the fight. So we're all like, oh fuck, like this girl just fucking ran away, like that's insane. Like we all didn't know what to do. People, you know, were leaving the line and looking for her, and police were like, we'll keep you guys updated. So after they left, my friends fell asleep again and I was just scrolling on my phone, talking to some people that I met in line that were towards the back. The police let us know that this girl was found and she was okay. And we were all just really happy that, you know, she was okay. Because that was really scary. You know, we're in the middle of Chicago. So my friends go back to bed and the police come back and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on now? So apparently there was this group of girls that decided that they didn't want to be at the back of the line anymore. The police were like acting as teachers. I felt so bad for them. At one point, one of the officers was like, ugh, like we should be taking care of murders and like robberies right now, and instead we're organizing a line. And I'm like, you know what? I am so sorry. Like the fact that people made it such a big deal like was really annoying. Like we're all supposed to love and care for each other, and for the most part everyone did, but there was that small percentage of people that just kind of made all armies and also all K-pop stans seem crazy and mean. I'm not saying that every person that stans BTS or that listens to K-pop is mean, but that generalization can be put out there because of how people acted, especially for these concerts. So the police officers are taking this group of girls from the front of the line and like walking them back, and these girls said they got there that morning and that they were numbers 100 through like 106. The officer got down to me and my friends and he was like, when did you guys get here and what number are you? And we were like, we got here Monday and we were 132 through 134. So he looks at this group of girls and he's like, I have a place for you guys, and he walked them to the back of the line. I kind of felt bad, but I also didn't, because like they were trying to create a fuss over nothing essentially. And while all this is happening, me and my friend Sarah are DMing back and forth with this girl we actually met at the Eric Nam concert earlier that summer. She had tickets to go to BTS and she was like talking with us, and we got her replaced an unofficial wristband. So we were just trying to figure out when she was gonna be there. It's around 2 a.m. at this point, and I was feeling extremely nauseous because I was like shivering really hard, and I also really hadn't eaten anything and had had a lot of caffeine. So I get up to go to the bathroom. At this point, there was this like man in a van from the United Center security, and he was only letting in about 5 people at a time. So I was waiting there, waiting for this guy to like let me know if I could go in or not. And I'm just standing there. I didn't have my phone because it was charging, and I like look over, and this like violent grandma, that one, is wearing a black ski mask and is just glaring at me. And I was like, can I help you? Like, what is going on? So I just like looked straight ahead and like, oh, it was really uncomfortable. I went to the bathroom and I came back out. It was really nice to heat up, and I didn't want to leave, to be honest. But I knew that other people would need to use the bathroom, and I didn't want to just sit in there all night. So I go and sit back next to my sleeping friends, and pretty much everyone around me was asleep, so I was just kind of watching, making sure nothing was happening. So 4 a.m. rolls around, and more people are starting to show up and get in line that had like their unofficial wristbands and were following the 4 a.m. call. And honestly, I am really glad that we didn't just go to the hotel and stay there again, because while this was very stressful and scary almost, it was kind of nice to spend time with like other armies, and I have more good experience than I had bad. So it's 4 a.m. There's people starting to show up. There's still some people are like upset about their spots. Our friend Frances, the one from the Eric Nam show, had got there, got her wristbands, and was in line. And I'm sitting there, I'm just kind of like hanging out, kind of just looking around because I didn't want to be on my phone too much. And I look, and there's just this big rat like running under a car, and I was like, oh, ew. So that wasn't fun or ideal. So everyone starts to wake up. It's about 5 a.m. at this point, and we're instructed to like all stand up and like get in line. Honestly, I am so sorry to Megan and Sarah because I was such a bitch. Like, I was in such a bad mood. And like, yeah, I can make all the excuses I want. I was cold, I was sick, I was hungry, whatever. But like, there were no excuses for how like bitchy I was acting. My friends are mad at me because I'm being a bitch for no reason, and I'm mad at them because I felt like they just didn't understand like how rough my night was. So Megan's mom is texting me and she's like, oh, it's okay, like you'll be able to shower and go to bed soon. Honestly, love her, she's a saint. So I get a little bit less grumpy, but like I'm still not really talking to them. Someone shows up in the line that's right behind us, and she was super nice, and her mom was with her. She had gone to the concert the night before, and it was cool to just talk to her. Just got us really excited for that coming night. So 6 a.m. rolls around, and that is when they start giving out the official wristbands. It kind of went down the line that this mom and her kid got numbers 32 and 33. And everyone was kind of pissed off, but everyone knew what they looked like at this point, and people were like, let's just wait till they're in the pit. So we got our official wristbands around 6:30 or so. I was number 133, so I went up like a whole number. While we were in line and starting to move to get our wristbands, my friend's mom showed up and started taking down our tent and packing up our stuff, which was like so nice of her. She didn't have to do all of this for us, but she did. I'm forever appreciative of her. So we get our wristbands and we hop in the car and we just start driving to the Airbnb, which is like 40 minutes away. And we get to the apartment and just all pass out. As soon as I was done napping, I woke up and just started getting ready, you know, did my makeup, got dressed and all that stuff. And by 3:30, we left the Airbnb. My friend's mom made us food, so we called an Uber. So we got to the United Center around 4:15ish, as they were set to let people in at 5. So we got in line. So we're just standing there and talking to all these people we met under somewhat unfortunate circumstances the night before. And while we were waiting in line, there was a reporter actually from Korea that was like interviewing people about the concert. It was kind of like anxiety inducing because I don't speak Korean. None of my friends do, so we were all just kind of like, oh god, I hope she doesn't try to talk to us. She seemed nice. She wasn't like making anyone talk or anything. It was just kind of scary because I don't know what I would have done if she tried to talk to me. So they start letting people in, and when they let you in, they check your ticket. So they check your ticket, and then they also check your wristband that you got that morning. So we got in pretty fast. I don't think that there were 130 some people in front of us. The concert didn't start until 8. People really weren't expecting to be there that early. So we start going in, and there's 2 sets of barriers. So there's one here, and there's a person that scans your ticket, and then you go to the next one, and then you wait there, and they send you to another little like 2 sets of lines where you get your bags checked. So we're standing at the second set of barriers, and we look over and we see this mom and her kid, the ones that started the fight the night before. The kid is crying, the mom is on the phone yelling, and I honestly don't even feel bad. They kind of put us through hell. I was honestly kind of happy that they didn't get in because they didn't deserve to get in because they fought so dirty. This story time is not making me sound very nice. So we go in, and me and my friends ended up getting barrier. So there was the main stage like back here, and then there was like a really long runway, and then there's like a little island that was kind of the octagon. So we ended up getting right on the runway, which we kind of wanted. My friend from the line, Jacob, he was in like the 600s, and he ended up getting a spot right next to us. 2 of our other friends from the line, Maddie and Brandy, also ended up being a barrier too. We didn't realize this until someone next to us was talking about it. All down the runway, there's like this curtain, and there was this little like taped off white section, and we were like, what's that? We were expecting to get some interaction, and then we realized that they were going to be coming out of this little curtain right in front of us. I also apologize for how loud all of this footage is gonna be because I was excited, okay? People were so violent. I know I should have expected it from how the night before went, but like people were mean. There was this girl that was kind of short behind us, and she kept making really passive comments about my height, and she was one of the people that was violently assaulting me and my friends. So we were getting shoved really hard. I had bruises all over my arms and my hips from getting pushed into the barrier. One of my friends had like braids kind of like I have now, but her hair's longer, so they were like went all the way down. And people were like yanking on her braids parade. People were pulling on my dress, my friend's dress, and like lifting up our skirts, just trying to do whatever they could to get us off of the barrier. And I will go ahead and say it did not work. We held our ground. I was just really happy that we all were able to stay at the barrier. Since we were at the barrier, we got some really awesome interaction. Not only did Jimin, Hosuk, and Tae like walk out right in front of our faces. Can I just pause to say they are so beautiful? Like, cameras don't do it justice how beautiful they are. Like, oh! I have a picture of when they were after they were walking down the runway, Tae stopped right in front of me and my friends, and I was like looking up and I held my phone up and he's just like staring at me. Like, it was scary. Like, he was just like almost glaring at me and I was like, ah! So I will insert that here because it quakes me every time I look at it. Jin laughed at us because we messed up a part of Boys with Fun on accident. Just cause like the anxiety, he was like right in front of us, like staring at us. That is not the only member that laughed at me. Hosuk is my bias, like not just my BTS bias, but also my ultimate bias. Like the entire concert I was trying to get his attention and like doing finger hearts. I was getting kind of sad because I wasn't really getting noticed. Like he would like look at me and then like look away. And I was like, that's fine, I'm ugly, it's all good. But then at the end, my friend got this on video and some people like said it looked fake because it looked like he wasn't actually pointing at me because I didn't take the video. My friend who was like down a few spots took it. Whatever. I know that it happened. So we made eye contact and he pointed at me and gave me a finger heart. And then he was still looking at me and I started like freaking out because I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then he laughed at me, so. That was good. All three of us got at least eye contact with every member. It's nice to be like connected that kind of a way. I would go through what we went through 50 times over to be able to see them perform live again because it was incredible. They're such amazing performers and no video does them justice of how amazing they are in real life. I'm gonna insert some footage because it was just so incredible, and I also apologize for all the screaming and I know it's kind of cringy, but I'll also insert some pictures too. 빛나는 나를 소중한 내 영혼을 이제 함께 날아와 So I love me. Awesome! You guys are so lit! It's 6 a.m. and I am editing this at the moment, and my computer decided to delete the footage of me talking about how the concert was really great and then also explaining that we went back to the Airbnb, had some dinner, and then we're ready to go to bed. So it's like 1 a.m. at this point, and my friend's mom was like, don't leave if you're by yourself because there is an active shooter that's just killing people that are by themselves in broad daylight. And we were also like freaked out because Megan's mom had just walked to the beach by herself that day. I feel so bad for like the victims because one was like a 72-year-old man that was just walking his dogs, and another was a college kid. Like, it was so random, and I just felt so bad for everyone that was involved. But we got really freaked out and decided just to not leave the apartment that day. Then we started our 7-hour journey back, and that's it. So it was a really crazy experience, but honestly, if you ever get the opportunity to go to a BTS, yes. If you ever get the opportunity to go to a BTS concert, I would recommend it wholeheartedly. Do anything that you can for it. It is worth the money. It is worth camping out. They're incredible people and incredible performers, and I am so blessed that I even got this opportunity in the first place. So just thank you to all the awesome people that I met when I was there. Summer, Marlo, Jacob, Maddie, Brandy, and Peyton. Y'all are great, and I'm glad that we got to keep in contact. And also thank you to my two friends, Megan and Sarah, for putting up with me and just being my best friends. And also shout out to Megan's mom for being incredible. Thank you guys for listening to this insane story, and if you guys want more videos, anything K-pop related or even non-K-pop related, comment down below. Like and subscribe. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram. I will put it on the screen. You can follow me on Twitter and Tumblr. And again, thank you for watching this. Bye!